can see it.
Alright. Alright, I can see it.
Okay, so let's get into this. So, Thresh Lucian versus Draven Karma. So, tell me what you know about this lane matchup.
Well, Draven usually loses against. Lucian usually loses against Draven unless Thresh gets a lot of hooks.
Okay. So, as far as this lane goes, level 2 is extremely important. Your best chance to win this lane is level 2 off a hook. Regardless of who he hooks, it should be pretty detrimental to them. Karma's pretty squishy support. Don't see her very often anymore. This guy went ancient coin. Holy shit. That's actually really bad for you. So as far as junglers go, Shaco has a bit of an odd path. Oh god. And yep.
Yeah, it's stop him. But I don't know why the Sejuani just walks into him and into the traps. Like right here.
Okay.
Sejuani just walks into the trap and like loses a fifth of her HP and can't back.
Okay.
Can't back.
Alright, so... Okay, so this is actually kind of scary because you have no idea where... Well, are they going to leash? Okay, they're going to leash, so you do know where he's starting. Okay, so that's fine. Okay. You gotta be using spells to push. Don't, like,
Gotcha.
your mana is way more important. I mean, your mana is not as important as hitting level 2.
What should I be pushing here?
Just for the level 2. Just put...
Okay.
Even without Karma here, like, you want to be using at least one Q to push. Because the thing is, you're full mana anyway. Your primary goal is to hit the minions, but if you hit them too, just free poke as well.
Gotcha.
Oh, jeez, I need to turn this off. Okay. Because the thing is, right now, he was solo in the lane, and you guys weren't even necessarily winning push. Like, you gotta prioritize your level 2 way more than that. If they had actually been in lane, or just been better players, they would have had the level 2 on you. And that's your best opportunity to get a chance in this lane. Or get an advantage in this lane. So you guys are gonna hit level 2 before Karma does, right here. Okay, so that's mainly on Thresh, you're not stepping up. You can just walk up for a play there into hook, but now that he's playing back, you can't really do too much. Okay, so when Draven, or any AD carry, threatens to auto you for harass and you're already missing health, usually it's not, threatens to auto you for harass when you go up to CS. Try to not just walk up straight up for the CS. Try to like back up a little bit and see if he autos another minion before going up for the CS, and if you lose it, it's whatever. Because the thing is, like, from this HP, the lane is probably going to push you, and you don't have Doran's shield, and you're probably going to keep eating poke. So eating one auto for one CS is a really, really bad trade most of the time. That's trades you should be looking for on the enemy AD carry. When you have CS that's about to die, and you're definitely going to get autoed for it, you usually just want to tend to give it up unless you've got a lot of sustain still. But this guy went Ancient Coin, he didn't go Relic Shield, and you only have one pot, no Doran's Shield, versus poke support and aggressive AD carry. So trading one CS for an auto is not very good. This guy's auto pushing, so the best thing you can do is just wait an extra second. He'll probably auto a minion, then you can walk up and get the CS without getting autoed. Same thing if he's got a minion to last hit, like he's obviously going to prioritize last hitting that most of the time. So you can just let him last hit that and then use your, while his auto's on cooldown because of his attack speed, just go last hit yourself.
Gotcha.
So you're, it seems like you're allergic to using mana. Like you're consistently just auto attacking and not using spells on the wave, and you're letting yourself get pushed in against Karma Draven, which is terrible because if you get pushed in against this lane, you just get poked under turret for days, and it's really, really hard to do anything.
Okay.
Normally, like this guy, okay, so this guy can't gank anyway. Normally, junglers are going to start bottom side and clear upwards in most games, and that means you're not going to get ganks until like level 4-ish. So getting pushed in early and getting poked down is actually like really, really bad because your jungler won't even be available to help you out. What you want to do is get pushed in around like level 4, level 5-ish, like when the junglers can actually come back and wrap for a gank. But until then, you want to be having lane priority, because then when you know the jungler is going to be coming around, you can just shove it into the turret with your lane control and then let it reset to the middle. And then from there on, they'll probably just be baited into pushing because you've been shoving them in, and then your jungler can kill them. In this case, your jungler started top, but he cleared awfully, so he's not going to be healthy enough to gank even after a red buff. So like getting pushed in here is terrible because you're just going to get harassed into the turret for free. In this lane, go for it. Go for it.
So basically, I just need to Q more and push the wave.
Yeah, you need to be more aggressive with poking and pushing the wave, because the thing is, like, there's two things you prioritize early on in the lane phase. You either prioritize poking them off so they can't push while still hitting the wave, or you prioritize just straight pushing, and if you eat autos for it, it's whatever. You make up for it when you hit level 2 first. But you're doing neither. You're conceding the push, and you're also getting auto attack for free. Like,
I was doing that. Sorry, go on.
Go for it. Like, that's basically what you need to do. Like, you need to pick one and just commit to it.
I was just doing conceding the wave because I was laning against the Draven. So I didn't want to like push the wave and get poked out from there.
When you have wave push, he shouldn't be poking you out, because when you have the wave push, you have more minions on your side. If he's poking with you and you're trading back, then he's losing the trades.
Okay.
And the other thing is, when he's under the turret, he can't poke you, right? Like he has the last hit minions. You can just poke him with Q over and over.
Okay.
And it's really easy to poke Draven with Q because he always walks for axes.
Gotcha.
So you always want the lane pushed early on, unless you're terrified that you're gonna get early ganked. But even with a Thresh, like as soon as Thresh is level 3, you should be fine most cases.
All right.
And yeah, you just put yourself in a position where like you're no pot, half HP, and you have no way to get priority back in this lane, because early on you weren't pushing and you also weren't trading harass properly. You gotta pick one or the other. Like, if you really don't want to shove in, then you just let it come all the way in and you just don't even step up to the wave. But there's almost no situation in solo queue where you ever need to be that afraid. And as far as item starts go, Doran's Blade is a fine start if you're shoving. If you're shoving for the level 2 and looking for heavy trade on the level 2. But if you're not going to do that, then you have to start shield against poke supports like Nami, Sona, Karma, etc. Just because you're going to eat too much harass otherwise.
Alright.
Your Thresh didn't do you any favors by starting into your coin though. But here's the thing, like, look at how many autos you're eating under the turret here, because you're trying to last hit. Some of these, like, you shouldn't even be stepping up for. Like, you're like just too far up, and that's why you get hit. Like, you don't have to be like this close to hit this minion.
Okay.
You can be further back and hit this minion. Same thing. Like, you can back up until it's time to walk up and hit that minion. Or if you can't hit the minion at all, just back up and don't get auto. But yeah, like look at what's happening now that you're getting pushed in. Like, you're having to dodge all these karma Qs, you're getting auto attacked by Draven left and right, you don't have Doran's shield, you're ready to use your pot, and you're just in a terrible position. Yeah, like he's autoing you every single time you step up for a minion, and it's really hard for you to handle. And now you're just stuck in a really poor position. So you should have just backed right here because it's the cannon wave. As soon as you finished off that, these last 3 casters right here, then it's time to go back, because it's a cannon wave coming, and that's your best bet to recall because you'll lose the least minions there. Because the thing is, at this HP, you're really not in a good spot, because if they aggress onto you in any form, either like Karma Flash or Draven Flash or Shaco shows up or Soul shows up, you're using sums, and then you're still probably going, like, if they shove the wave into the turret and Shaco just walks up and starts hitting the turret, you're gonna have to leave. Or if they dive, you're just gonna have to use sums, and you're still probably gonna miss all the minions because you're gonna have to back up and get out while using your sums. Okay, good trade here.
This was the part that Sejuani comes and helps, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's why I didn't back.
Okay.
And Aesol roams spawn also.
Okay. Alright. So let's watch. What's Sejuani doing this whole time?
Krugs.
Okay, so he goes red, you're still getting harassed. Finishes red. Goes to Krugs. Oh, he has another smite, that's why he's healthy enough to gank. Okay. Alright, that's fair then. Alright, so if you're being told by Sejuani she's coming, then this is a little better, but it's still really scary because look what, like, in this gank, even before it becomes 3v3, like, look what happens, right? So, you get lucky here, Karma misses Q. That hits you, you're out of the fight immediately. So, Draven misses E. If he hits E in auto here, you're immediately out of the fight. They miss that too. And then, all it takes is you dash up and Draven autos you twice and you're out of the fight. This is before Shaco is even here, this is before Soul's even here. And here's the thing, even if one of these guys ends up dying, you still can't do anything about this wave anymore because Shaco's just gonna kill you. Like, that's the problem. When you don't base, it's his health. And like even if you are getting a gank, it has to be such a perfect gank, because if you get chunked anymore like you did here, now you're 150 HP instead of 350 HP, you can't stay in the lane because what's going to happen is Shaco's just going to walk through the lane bush and kill you when you try to push, and then there's no way your team's going to be able to trade this. There's no way you're going to be able to kill Shaco. This is, like, they're still going to get even less healthy here because they're still eating damage. And then that doesn't even factor into the fact that Soul comes as well. So guess what? Now you're gonna miss all these minions anyway. So. This is a terrible situation to be in.
Well, I mean, it is.
Yeah, your team.
Draven still dies though.
Yeah, your team.
I think.
Team gets fucked. Alright, so yeah, there's double longsword refill here. Definitely the best buy with your money. Oh, let's just speed up. Okay, you get. Draven dies, but you're down already 12 CS because of that, which is terrible. Okay, so just walking back in the lane here. Waves in an okay spot. Okay, so you have two, like, there's two things here that you can do. So the wave is pretty even actually. I think it's shoving into you though. So here's the thing. Yeah, it should definitely be shoving into you. You can slow push this or you can hard push this. Since Draven died, it doesn't really matter that much which one you do. But the thing is, you have to commit to one, because you get to lane here, you last hit this, and then you pause for a bit, and then you're like, oh, maybe I want to push, and you auto it, and you're like, oh, maybe I want to push. Like, and you take so much gap in between your autos, and then you also don't use your Q until after you prep all these minions, whereas you should be using your Q right at the start and just pushing it. Because the thing is, like, your Q doesn't scale up in mana cost until like you have like way more points into it. At rank 1, it really doesn't cost that much. At rank 2, it's not costing that much. Rank 3, it starts to get annoying. Rank 4, it's pretty bad. And rank 5, it's really, really bad. But the thing is, you're not at that point yet. You can be spamming this way more than you are. And
Gotcha. Early
on, it comes into you come into the lane and you're like, I don't know if I want to push or if I want to slow push, like hard push or slow push. And then you like halfway through, you're just like, looks like hard pushing is the better idea. So you start hard pushing, but by then it's too late. The Draven's already back in lane. He's not gonna miss anything for it. So you need to decide and understand the situations, like when you hard push and like when you're slow pushing. Like if you can shove it into the tower before they get there, then yeah, go for hard pushing. But if you're struggling in trades and like they're gonna make it back to the lane anyway, just slow push it, because if you have the big wave behind you on a slow push, then that basically you can use that as like a shield against like their trading. Because if they try to trade autos with you with your huge wave behind them, they're gonna get fucked.
And slow pushing is just when I go for CS, pretty much, right?
You just last hit everything, yeah.
Okay,
You don't.
alright.
You just sit and last hit everything. Yep. I think that might have actually frozen, but like it's hard with our early minion waves when it's that close. It might have frozen or it might have slow pushed. Either one was fine for you in that case, though. Freezing was definitely preferred, but slow pushing would have been fine too, because it's very difficult for you to trade with them at the moment. So take a look at his items. Okay, he's got Vamp Scepter, and you don't have Vamp Scepter. He doesn't have any pots. He doesn't have any pots though. So unfortunately, your Thresh doesn't have Ignite, and he doesn't have Relic Shield once again for sustain. So basically, what you're looking for in this lane is if you have a minion advantage or you get a really good hook, then you can look for an all-in and then look to zone him, because if he doesn't have any pots, right? So if you get if you get a great trade onto him and you just don't let him last it, like you slow push the wave, and like if like you get a trade and then he gets to like 200, 300 HP, but he wants to stick around, you just don't push the wave, because if you shove the wave into the turret, then he just last hits under turret. So if you just don't shove the wave after a trade like that, then he's fucked, because his only sustain is his Vamp Scepter. And if you zone him from hitting minions at all, then he just can't sustain up at all.
Oh, okay.
But what you do have to watch out for is taking short trades that don't initiate off like a Thresh hook or anything are really, really bad, because you only have refill pot versus Vamp Scepter, which is basically like he's got way more sustain than you, as long as he's hitting stuff. So if you take short trades like right here, like if you try to like trade autos with him, it's a huge loss for you. Okay. So yeah, you're kind of just letting him shove you in because you can't trade well with him. Waiting for Thresh to get a hook. He gets a pretty good one here. Good combo. Get out of the snare. Good. Okay. So this is where you would try to keep up the pressure by like ideally you'd like to keep up the pressure either by like stepping up and queuing him and trying to bait him into a trade, or a Thresh could get another flay or something. You just kill him off because you have stums. Fortunately, Shaco is here, and you have shit for vision because you guys have been getting pushed in pretty much this whole lane. Yep. So yeah, what's gonna happen here is like what I said. Unless he goes for a play like this, but he fucks it up. So, but yeah. So basically, like as soon as this next wave is coming in, he's gonna just heal a shit ton of it again because he's got Vamp Scepter, and it becomes very difficult to stay in lane. Like those are the exact type of trades you should be taking, because look how long it took him to get back up to full health. But after 2 waves, and look, he's full health again, and you are too, but now you don't have refill pot charges. So when you identify the enemy laner has like a Vamp Scepter, and you don't, then you gotta be really careful about how you take the trades, and letting your support know like, hey, if we basically have to all in, or I'm just gonna get out sustained, kind of thing. Okay. Unfortunately, at this point, like you can't anymore just because he's 6. So you lost your window. You guys had to go when he was 5 and chunked. But those are the type of trades that you should be, and fights that you should be looking for when you don't have sustained advantage in the lane. Because otherwise, like, look, he's at full health anymore. He's full health again, and you can't do anything. And now you're just gonna continue to get poked under your tower. Because he knows that he could trade, well, I hope he knows that if he just trades autos with you over and over, he's gonna lose out as long as, he's gonna win out as long as he doesn't get hooked. Because you can't sustain anymore, you're out of pots. And he can just free hit your turret over and over now too. Just trades autos over and over into the turret. Okay, he fucks up by not respecting the Thresh hook, and he dies.
But I think she gets both the kills, yeah?
That's fine.
Alright.
Shove the wave in. You can hit the turret until Soul shows up.
Oh, I just start shoving.
Yeah.
Do I back? No, I don't.
Okay, so what? Oh boy. So basically, this is how this situation should play, is because you got both of the kills. If Sejuani goes up to hit goes up to hit the turret, then you hit the turret with her because she has red buff and you can put significant damage onto it. But if she backs off, then you back off because you can't hit the turret.
Okay.
You can't kill the turret yourself. And you just reset, get your buy. 1400. I'm assuming you are Bork Cleaver. Okay. Then this should be Bilge Water Boots. Bilge Water Boots.
Yeah.
Okay, no dagger. Hey, that better be for recurve both. That's Berserker Greaves. We're gonna have a problem.
Do you not buy Zerkers?
No. Don't ever buy Zerkers.
Okay.
Don't ever buy Zerkers.
Okay, gotcha.
Because that Bork Cleaver build, you're kind of like you're more of a frontline AD carry kind of player with that build, and you want Tabby so you can duel.
Okay.
Especially against like Draven, because if Draven doesn't have Tabbies and you do, well, you actually still might lose because Death Dance is a broken item. But against most other AD carries with like Bork and Tabby, you can 1v1 anyone. Same thing with like most like top laners. Like Bork Tabby is like insane, and treads in games where they've got a lot of magic damage, like either double AP or like an Elise or something. It's also very helpful for your dueling.
So only like backline ADs like Tristana and Caitlyn build.
Yeah, basically, yeah, the meta is shifted. Like if you're a Shiv builder, you almost, if you're like a double Zeolite builder, you almost build Greaves. And a lot of people are like rushing it now too. But aside from that, no, you don't really build Greaves.
Gotcha.
Like on Jhin, I'd never build it. On Lucian, I'd never build it. On Ezreal, I'd never build it. I mean, I guess no one plays Ezreal anymore, but those champions never. I think most of the others are fine with it. Draven shouldn't really build it either. But I think the rest do. Most of the rest do Greaves now.
Top's not winning that hard.
That's okay. That's irrelevant to the game state. Because he doesn't even have TP.
Okay.
Alright, so yeah. At this point, like, you don't really have any, you can't shove anymore. The best thing you could do is just, until you're out of pots, just try to, like, step up and queue the wave and keep it off your turret as much as possible because, oh, well, let's watch this trade first.
Yeah, I get chunked a lot more than he does.
Yeah. Well, it's not even that, it's more of the fact that he just lifesteals all of it up. So yeah, okay, so you have the... So yeah, the thing is, like, you want to keep this off your turret, right? Because you don't want to lose first blood turret. So when the wave is in this position, like stepping up in the middle, you want to step up. You want to step up and try to queue as much of it and auto as much of it until they force you to be honest, right? The thing is, you're giving them so much respect. They haven't even really like traded with you heavily, and you're still just you're still giving them all this respect of not walking up to the wave at all. You have Bilge Water now. You have Lifesteal. Like, and you have pots. Like, he has a pot too, but you had two when you come in. Like, step up and fucking queue and start autoing this wave like he is. Don't let it get to the turret with all these minions intact. Like, queue these fucking minions and then, at this point you can't step up to the range this late into the wave, but at least kill the fucking melees before they make it to the turret. That saves you so much HP on the turret. When this walks up, queue it. When this wave walks up, queue it. Like, you eat one auto for it, fine. You're gonna lifesteal it all off the turret anyway. Like, as soon as your turret's starting to get below, like, half, like, you don't ever let them shove it into the turret for free if you have any sort of lifesteal or any sort of, pot, regen, anything to, like, sustain through some of the harass. And then, when you have a chance, then yeah, you take trades like this. It's good that you didn't cull him here, because he would've just lifestealed all of it up. I don't necessarily agree with culling this wave, because you still have, like I said, you still have Bilge Water, your pot's still ticking, you could lifesteal off of it. And the thing is, like, you're gonna need culling to try to kill him, or shove him off, and the thing is, help is not coming. Like, this guy's got no TP, he's dead, this guy's... Is he? I think he's still middle. Yeah, he doesn't want to roam for whatever reason, this guy's about to die. Or going back. So, help's not coming for a while. You're gonna have to hold off another wave, and the best way you can do that is by culling him off of it, and, like, forcing him to, like, trading with him, and then, like, ending it with a culling to force him to be honest, and then just picking up lifesteal off the wave when it hits the turret. Because the thing is, like, now you don't have culling, right? So what are you gonna do next wave? What are you gonna do next wave when it comes in, right? Your culling's not gonna be up, so... And if help was coming, and you just, like, you were just like SOS, like, and they're like, all right, cull this wave and we'll be here next wave to help you out. Then you're like, all right, got it, roger that. You cull the wave, and then the help comes. But that's not the case here. Like, no one is coming. So you're on your own here, and you're gonna have to find a way to hold off the turret here without anyone, and it's gonna be really difficult without culling, because you have no way of keeping him honest. I guess stretch play, but that's his fault for getting hit by it, and right, he just doesn't want to hit your turret for some reason. But yeah, you guys are losing HP on these trades every time. Like, you're trading your health bar to try to keep on with the turret, and eventually you won't have any health bar left to trade. So, a lot of this stems from the fact that when you were able to challenge on the wave earlier before it hit your turret, you just didn't challenge, and now you're at a point where you can't challenge. Because the thing is, like, when you both have lifesteal, then whoever has control of the wave in the middle is gonna win the lane, because you guys traded like decently evenly earlier, like before your turret was as low. But the problem is you didn't get wave priority to hit the wave and lifesteal up like he is. Like, you could literally be doing the same thing as he does, like just lifestealing off the wave if you had control. But the thing is, you conceded control. So every single wave that you trade under the turret, he just heals it up while he's shoving to the turret, and then he's full HP hitting your turret again, and there's nothing you can do. And now you have to concede turret. And it's first blood turret, even though this guy's getting double NCS. I don't know how that happens. But, and now you lose first blood turret. And there was some jungle intervention from their side, but you guys got even more help than they did, and you still lost first blood turret. And you're just too passive. Like, the thing is, like, you have to understand, when your turret's that low, and when you've got lifesteal, you've got to just try to challenge on the wave. Like, you can't just concede the wave push over and over to him. Like, if we just rewind to, like, let's go to, like, here, okay? So, your turret's already low at this point, but that's fine. So you're gonna walk in, this is when you walk in a lane with, lifesteal, okay? So, let's count how many waves you let him have priority on. Okay. So, one wave, so he shoves this one. You give him priority on this. One wave. Okay, he barely gets any turret damage here. Doesn't harass you very much either, good for you. Oh, another wave, giving him free priority. Get like 2 autos in. Alright, 3 autos in on this wave. And then he gets it into the turret again. Give it all to him. You're full HP with a refill pot charge and bilge water cutlass, and you're giving him priority. Trade here, but you take a trade that it's bad for you because you don't get any priority. You give him priority on the next wave again, you have to cull it. 3 waves in a row. So, waiting for the next wave now. And another wave in a row, you give him priority. Now he's full health. And you guys lose half your HP to trade for this wave, and he knows it's completely fine because he knows that now you can't stay or you're gonna get dove. And you have to give him priority at this point. And now he takes your turret. So, like, your gold is pretty close, honestly. Like, it wasn't that he had like a huge gold lead advantage. Yeah, Karma's a better poker than Thresh, but Thresh has more gold than Karma. And like, you guys weren't always in a point where you just had to concede. Like,
it was because I was just against Draven and I didn't want to lose out in like short trades against him.
Here's the thing though, you guys don't have to take short trades necessarily. Like, you guys can step up and flay into an all-in. And you have a pretty good shot at winning an all-in. Like, he's got 150 more gold than you, but like that difference hasn't even been spent. So you're basically like the same amount of gold. You can win an all-in, but you guys never even try. You basically just lose slowly, which is like just as bad. If not even worse, because you end up losing first blood turret. If first blood turret was already gone and you lost your turret, then it wouldn't matter as much. But like, you guys basically just give up first blood turret for free, and then you say you don't want to take short trades, but you end up taking this trade anyway. And this trade is the one that ultimately screws you, because you don't follow it up with culling or anything, and he just full life steals off the wave. And by this point, you only had 1 pot left. If you had done it at 2 pots and like it'd been in a better position where there wasn't a wave coming into you and Thresh got to hit a hook or get anything, then it wouldn't have been as bad. But the thing is, you guys don't trade like that, and you just concede basically the whole time in this lane, and that's why you lose first blood turret. if your turret is that low, then you got to try. You got to at least try to get him off of it by taking like an all-in in the middle of the lane when you had the chance. But because you didn't take that chance, this just happens, right? Like from this position, you can't do shit, but you shouldn't be in this position in the first place. The reason you're in this position is because you guys were playing too passively, and then you realize like, oh shit, if they just shove the wave into our turret every time for free, then we're gonna lose our turret. So you try to take a trade, but then it's too late. They've already got the wave on their side, and it's in a position where, like, since they have the wave, Thresh can't hit a hook. So you can't win an all-in unless Thresh hits a hook. And you just lose out. You could say, like, 40 times, you could say, like, your jungler should have been here, or your fish should have roamed or something. But that's not always going to happen in solo queue. You have to learn how to win lane on your own. And you guys lose lane, like, real hard here, considering the fact that you got 2 ganks and they got 1. And it was really only a counter gank. So at this point, you just tell your Thresh to get the fuck out of this lane and go roam. You can't freeze this. You don't have the map control to freeze this. So good on you to push it. So you can do another wave here. You should do another wave here actually, because they're definitely backed. And Shaco shouldn't be able to kill you, especially if you have Thresh. What are you doing? No, what are you doing?
And we're gonna go ward that.
There's no point in warding that.
Yeah.
There's no point in warding that. Go get the minions. You just lost your minion for free. Okay, like this ward is literally pointless because you're gonna shove this wave and you're gonna go buy your Bork. You don't need this ward. And if someone shows up on this, like no one is gonna walk past this fucking ward if you're hitting the wave right here. Like they're gonna just walk from the lane, or they're just gonna walk through here, or like Shaco's just gonna queue through here, just dodge your ward anyway. And like, why would Shaco ever try to kill you by himself, right? If you have Thresh with you. It makes no sense. Like he's never gonna try to kill you by himself. There's no way Soul roams down with Shaco either. That's never gonna happen either. Just shove this fucking wave and get out of here. Like they're not gonna be here. Like you could just shove the wave and get out. By the time you get back, even if you want to go back to bot lane, which you probably shouldn't after this wave, your ward's gonna be dead by the time you recall and walk back. So it's a pointless ward. Once again, hard push this. Yeah. Use your spells. Okay, good. Like, fucking spam your spells. You're going back. Okay. Okay. Draven just like straight up ints. But he's got Death Stance. Ha ha ha. Okay. Alright, I have no idea what Draven was doing there, but good shit on Thresh for identifying he was going full retard. Holy moly. Okay. So you got Bork. You got Bork money. You got Cloth Armor money or Ruby Crystal money. Cloth Armor. Oh, no, you want Ruby Crystal. Right. Okay. Okay, so bot wave is rebounding to you. You can go ahead and catch that. Your whole team just died. So go ahead and tell your Thresh to roam here. Good. Okay. So, okay, so now you're warded again. This one's a bit more acceptable because you don't have Thresh with you. So once again, you have 2 options. Well, you have 2 options here. One's clearly better than the other. I'm just pointing at the second here because in cases where your team doesn't have mid tower and you have really little control, it's actually fine to let this wave push into you and catch it later when you're like right here, so you're safe. You don't even have to use your ward, because part of the reason, like, this ward isn't necessarily going to save you from everything, because there's a lot of paths they can take to just dodge your ward, and Shaco can dodge your ward too, just because he's Shaco. So in cases where you're not as safe to walk up right here, it's actually better to just take the Krugs, and then wait for the wave to come in all the way to like right here, and then just farm it here, and then shove it once it hits right here, because it's just safer, and you don't lose very many minions to the wave, because once it stacks up, they destroy your wave so fast that not really any minions die to the wave. In this case, it's fine, especially now that they just got Herald, because you should know, oh, there's no risk that anyone's going to be realistically down here because they're on the Herald and 2 people mid lane. So you should just hard push here. No, what are you doing? No. Okay.
Yeah, that's when I go try and help my team.
So the thing is here, they're already on the turret. It's already low. And your team's already like committing to the fight. Like you're gonna be so late to the fight, and the thing is, if you don't shove this wave into the turret, you're gonna lose a lot of minions to it because the wave isn't gonna push fast enough. So yeah, this fight's like already over, like or decided by the before you even get here. They should be backing off. Okay, well Sejuani doesn't get the memo. Yikes. God, this should never happen. Yikes. Oh god. Oh god. Alright.
Yeah.
Yikes. Okay, so let's talk about this. So, for starters, this should end right here. When Draven dies, your team should just walk away. Because Fizz is literally on life support. Like this fight is straight up just not good. Like from this standpoint, even if you are here, because Soul is gonna get back here really fast because he's Soul. Swain is extremely strong at this point of the game because no one has healing reduction and he's level 11. So for starters, like this fight's already looking like hella scary. And Shaco ends up showing up. Thresh flashes away. Sejuani, good entry into the fight. Immediate Bork W. Auto, you keep autoing. The only thing that even saves you guys from making this fight close at all is like somehow this Fizz still has ultimate and shoots it like from his 100 HP position under turret. You try to walk out of the snare there, unfortunately you aren't able to. And then here's the huge mistake right here. You see Swain and then you dash up against Swain. Like even before you see the snare. You don't ever dash up into Swain, because if you dash up into Swain, that means you have to eat like a shit ton of his Q. And that's not even taking into account the fact that if you get Q'd, you're probably going to get snared, and you also don't know where Soul is. So, even without knowing where Soul is, this is just a terrible play. Because you don't ever want to dash up unless it's a full cleanup. And this is far from a full cleanup at this point. I don't even think your culling will kill him from like if you hit like all the, like, if you somehow hit all the bullets, you might not even die, and the thing is, like, Karma's just gonna straight up block the bullets. And you don't really have much backup at this point, aside from this guy, but this guy's, like, useless. Like, dashing up, regardless of getting hit by the Q and the W here, just isn't the right play. Regardless of seeing Soul, regardless of Swain's cooldowns, regardless of everything, dashing up here is just not the right play.
Yeah.
If you're not on full cleanup, you don't dash forward. That's basically...
Well, what do you mean by full cleanup? Like they're all really low?
Yeah, so like imagine like
Okay.
you're in this position, right? So we'll speed up to like right around here. Okay, imagine this guy's 108. This guy's like 200 HP. This guy's like 200 HP, and you just dash up to clean up. Like yeah, that's fine. Thing is like they're not that HP yet. You dash up and you cull here, you're not even gonna kill this guy because this guy's gonna block, and you still don't know where Soul is. Like if Soul shows up, then you're also just dead. Regardless of getting hit by the snare. Like you dash up here, you get Swain slowed, you get Karma queued, and then Soul comes in and cleans you up. Regardless of getting snared here. Obviously this is like the worst case scenario, you dash up into a snare, but even had that not happened, this probably would have been really, really scary. Yeah, just in general, you don't ever want to dash up in a team fight unless you're on full cleanup duty. Every now and then, like, there'll be situations where, like, maybe you're, like, behind and you're, like, trading yourself for someone in a fight, that's fine. But just in general, just don't dash up in fights unless it's at a point where you're just cleaning up everyone. So, you lose so many minions here because you don't shove this wave. So many minions are dying here. Thankfully, like, it slow pushes into you, but you're still gonna lose so many minions as they fight here. Okay. Knock it over to a drag fight. Okay. What is going on? Jesus. Alright, let's talk about this fight. What the fuck happened in this fight? Okay, so how does this fight... Okay, so they start dragging you guys funnel in, you guys are missing a lot of ultimates. So this fight's already really scary. Okay. You hit the box, start hitting Shaco, back up out of the Karma queue, auto what's in front of you, fine, Get out of the swing snare, fine. Can't hit the swing because the solo stun's coming towards you. You dash it just to be safe. Walk back in, hit Shaco, he's closest to you, good. Draven flashes in, so start walking out. So, immediately, like, as soon as you see Teemo flash out here, you should be flashing out with him. Because you guys are all hitting together, right? You're hitting together, you're hitting together, hitting together, hitting together. Thresh dies, but you're still hitting. Sejuani dies. Draven flashes forward, and then now Teemo bails, because at this point, like, you can't stay in this fight anymore. This is where you bail immediately with him. Because if you had bailed immediately with him, then you wouldn't have been so low, and you wouldn't have died to the karma at the end here. Like, most of this fight is fine, like, obviously, mechanical error, you dash out of the ASOL stun when you're already out of it. That's whatever, because that's gonna happen. Like, mechanical mistakes are just, they happen. But, you need to understand, like, you hit what's close to you in the fight, but as soon as your front line dies and your back line starts to bail, it's time to bail too. You bail, you do bail, but you don't bail as fast as you should, and because of that, you end up getting cleaned up at the end here. Also, like, as soon as you get hit by this Karma Q, just turn and fight him. Just straight up, just turn and fight him, because you have Teemo with you, and the thing is, like, he's just gonna run you down regardless. Just turn and fight him and try to lifesteal up with Teemo. Like, if you kill him fast enough, you also survive. But the thing is, you start running away, and the Karma chases you away from Teemo because you're running away. It ends up not really mattering because this guy, I'm pretty sure this guy doesn't lose out on any DPS because you leave, but there are other cases where, like, if you're running away from someone, away from your team, and, like, you have lifesteal, like, it's usually better just stay there and lifesteal so your team can put out full DPS too. Okay. So that fight, honestly, there wasn't too much to change. Your front line's just really behind, so they die extremely quickly compared to theirs. So you pick up treads here. I think that's fine. They got double AP. They got like triple AP, I guess. And Shaco doesn't do many magic damage anymore, but still it's triple AP with multiple CCs. So Merc Tread's definitely the better buy here. Oh, go catch the spot wave. Okay, shove this up. Okay. So actually, let me see how much vision you have. I think you see all of them top, right? 1, 2, 3. Is that all you see? 1, 2, 3. Let me just check real quick, because that's really important to what decision you should make here. So Sejuani face checks the Shaco. You're still pushing bottom. You see Draven middle. You see Swain. They're both walking towards the Sejuani. Sejuani clearly unaware of this as she continues to fight the Shaco. Okay, so Spooky Ghost comes in. So you know Karma's here too. Draven comes over the wall. Swain's here. So you know 4 people are up here. You know 4 people are up here, so you should keep pushing. Just keep pushing, keep pushing. Okay. So yeah, 4 people up here. No need to call this, honestly. You want to save that.
Okay.
You could have pushed away fast enough. Okay. So now you're hitting turret. There's 4 people top. Oh no, there's 5. There was 5 people top. Someone might have backed at this point, but you've seen everyone at some point now, because Soul was the last one you hadn't seen. So Fizz killed himself. Kill the turret here. This next wave would be the one you'd want to call to get it into the turret,
okay.
into their turret if you were going to call anything. I don't think you had to, but like, if you were going to call, it's better to call that one. Because getting into their turret means you reset the wave so you can farm again.
The Shaco also built tank.
Yeah, interesting. So yeah. So basically, the reason you want the next wave is so important to shove in though is because, like, look at this. They can freeze. They could freeze this, and basically, if they freeze it, you're never farming again. Like for like the next 5 minutes, you're never gonna farm again. And when you're behind, and there's just one lane that your team just can't farm. It's so hard to get back into the game.
Right.
So you always want to try to get into the turret after you kill a turret, or kill the turret with like no minions remaining, so that it'll still rebound to the middle, and it'll be able. Someone will be able to farm it eventually. But the thing is, like, you can get frozen here, and that's really really bad. they can either freeze it or slow push it. Regardless of what they do, it's going to be a long time till anyone in your lane can farm this lane safely again, because you can't farm right here. You have to farm right here. So you always want to try to get shoved. So you buy your Phage. You should be buying your blue trinket at this point in the game, especially when you guys don't have a lot of jungle control. That's going to be one of your only ways to safely scout. As soon as you hit your level 9, you almost always just pick up your blue trinket. Sometimes you can hold on to it for a little longer. This is not one of those cases. You really need the blue trinket for Baron Vision, because you guys have just zero control of your jungle, because you're missing mid turrets, you're missing top turret, you're missing bot turret. And you don't have any of theirs except for bot turret, but you just got that. So you pick up red here. That's fine. So at this point in the game, your job is to catch bot waves when they're big and they come in, and get mid priority with your team. So Johnny's down here with you, so I guess you feel safe to catch the spot wave. You got red buff, so you go fight Draven. Okay. Yikes. Did you have heal? I guess he
I
just
think
thought
it just came up, maybe? I don't know.
Oh, it's close. That's really close. Okay. Oh yeah, it's not up. Okay. So here's the thing about fighting anyone with Death Dance. You fight anyone with Death Dance, you're probably going to lose. Just regardless of like what happens. Like if you fight them straight up, you're probably going to lose. So you opening like with W, like opening like this is fine because you have red buff. You just put damage on him. But the thing is, like right here, you want to just like cull him. You just want to just cull him. And the thing is, if he's backing up from you in the wave because you're culling him, that means his death stance is useless because he's not life stealing off of anything. But the thing is, when you continue fighting in his range, then he just keeps healing off you with death stance. And in a straight up auto attack fight, especially because he's got the wave behind him, you're gonna lose. Unless you have Tabi. If you have Tabi, then here you can maybe fight. But obviously, like we talked about earlier, treads are better here, and you have treads. So you can't just walk up and fight him like that when he's got that stance. Your best chance is killing him, because if you're culling him, then obviously you should be out of range of him, and that means he's not healing anything with the death stance. So that item, he doesn't really get much benefit out of it anymore. But when you walk up and just straight up fight him, it's so much harder to kill him because you have to put so much extra damage onto him because of his death stance to actually like kill him. So yeah, it's fine to initiate trades like that when you have the red buff, just because you can put all your cooldowns off onto him into a point where he's like half HP, then you start culling, and then when you come back in after you're culling, when your cooldowns are coming back up. But you can't just commit to a full all-in like that.
Should I have bought like the Executioners earlier this game against Swain?
You have Morellos, and you need to finish your Cleaver first.
Okay.
So generally no. Generally no. If you're ahead, sure, but you usually want to get it after Cleaver. Like if it's a huge problem, then get it earlier. But like you guys have Morellos and two ignites actually, so you don't necessarily need it that early. Getting your Cleaver is like more important in this case. Okay. Oh, interesting. Let's talk about this fight. And you come in from the side here and just fight Soul. Okay. That's pretty much fine. One thing I will say is, as soon as your W falls off of him, you want to prioritize getting like next to him first before autoing him, so you stop eating the star damage. As soon, like if your W is still on him and you're autoing, that's fine because you're keeping up with W move speed. But as soon as your W wears off of him, then you just want to be walking up so you're not taking star damage before you auto, especially when you have red buff. Because it's very easy for Soul to turn on you if you're staying inside of like star range. Like, and if you cannot get into like his orbit, like if you can't get into his orbit, like you keep just eating damage, it's actually better to just stay slightly outside of his range and just wait for your dash, and then when your dash comes up, just run up on him.
Okay.
because like it's super easy to get turned on if you eat as much star damage as you do here. Like if his stun comes up like a second earlier, or he's got a little bit more health, then you just get turned on here. And if it's out by soul, then like it's very easy for someone else to just show up and turn on you. And this is whatever. Swain just flashes out, so you recall. Go stop Draven. Okay, you pick up Signal Gem, almost every cleaver. I just killed Draven. Okay. So you can actually just go shove the mid wave. What are you doing? Wait a minute.
I didn't feel safe shoving in the mid wave, so I didn't know where any of them were.
Okay, you should definitely feel safe shoving in the mid wave here because you have Thresh and they're
okay.
4v5. So all you need to do is just tell Thresh, sit behind and land on me. Just literally just sit behind and get ready to lantern, and you can shove this mid wave. Because the thing is, like, you're one of the only you're probably the only guy who can get these resources safely. Because 1, you have a dash, 2, you're there immediately, and 3, you have Thresh with you. The thing is, like, no one else can really go get that, like, as fast and as safely as you can. So you taking the jungle camps just hurts your team, because anyone on your team can take the jungle camps, but you're the only one who can go get the mid wave right now.
Okay.
So, we have the mid wave, and the thing is, I don't even think, oh, you already have Cleaver, yeah. It's not that you needed both of them for Cleaver, you already had Cleaver. Okay. So they take Dragon. Oh god.
I killed Draven there, I think.
Yeah. Let's see what happens here. So you guys are late to Dragon as a team, so that's fine that you don't go, because no one on your team had postured that they were going except Sedge. Let's walk through with your team here. And Draven, you guys turn for Draven for some reason. Okay, you ping it out, so that's good. Just run into Draven here. Yeah. Once again, like, you want to be doing that earlier. Like calling him is fine. That's actually like what you're supposed to do, but you cut it really close. And like I said earlier, you can dash up to him and put out your combo, but like instead of like walking, let me actually just play this in half speed so it's a lot easier. Okay, so this fight starts, dash away, auto W, Q, alright, Q, W, and as soon as you W here, and he E's you just be instantly calling backwards. Just instantly calling and running away. Because you have red buff on him and you have W move speed. As soon as you start culling, you'll get out of his range after like one more auto and he's just dead. You like start running and then dash before culling. Like you could straight up just cull. And the thing is, like, you live here because he misses his ultimate and you get a Thresh Lantern. Like, you should have been dead here for not culling immediately. But you get a bit lucky here. Because he fucks up. So, yeah. Like, against Draven, like, you don't want to be that close to him. Especially, like, when he's got Death Stance. Because it's so, like, this guy's literally, like, feeding his ass off and he still nearly beats you in 1v1. Because you're dueling, a lot of your dueling power comes from you culling outside of the range of their counter attack. Because you don't have crit, you don't have Tabi in this game, you're not a Death Stance buyer, so you can Bork combo someone, and if they're behind, then you just run them down with your Bork, and that's great. But if that's not the case, like you're not like super ahead of them, that you just like destroy them in a fight anyway, you have to make use of your culling to damage them while they're not damaging you. To win a fight, because you don't have crit burst, you don't have Trinity Force burst, you don't have Death Stance survivability, you don't have Shiv burst, you don't have any of that, you don't have PG dueling. Like, a lot of your dueling power comes from your culling with this build, so you need to make sure you're using that properly. So you just go clear mid here to lifesteal because you're too low to go to the siege bottom. You're healthy enough after you shove this wave, so just spam spells on it, you got blue buff. And go bottom here. Okay. Good damage on Shaco. Teemo still pushing. Oh. Okay. Just run. Just run straight to the base. Yikes.
I didn't know that his clone could pop Sterix.
Oh, okay.
So.
That's fair. Okay. Yeah, Let me just look over this. I don't think there's too much to change, honestly. WQ auto. Back up, back up, back up, back up, back up. Alright, so your biggest mistake comes like right there, where he presses R and you like flounder about. Like, do you attack move or no?
Yeah.
Okay. Then as soon as he reappears on your gear and you dash, like you should be running, like straight up running. Like you shouldn't be walking back in here. Like you walk back in for a second, and that's why you have to flash. Like if you made it to the base gate, you were fine, but you have to flash to make it to the base gate here because you walk back in for like a half second there, and he ends up making it to you. And yeah, you just get caught off guard because you don't think he can stare axe, and you just get run down by a slow. Hopefully Thresh cleans him up so he doesn't get the inhib. Okay. You could have gone back to the base to heal a little bit before coming back out because he doesn't actually kill the inhibitor that fast with his build. But I can understand that you didn't think his clone could proc stairs, so you thought you were actually killing the right one. But yeah, like unless they're a huge threat to just immediately kill the inhib, it's usually better to just go back and heal, so you don't lose. There's like 0 chance you lose the fight because you dying here, regardless of Shaco trading, with Thresh, like Thresh getting the kill on him to trade, is pretty bad. Just because no one's gonna be able to stop this wave now, and you're pretty important to the team at this point. Okay. Walking towards bottom here. Yikes. Feels like you got hit by nothing.
Yeah, that wasn't bad. That was pretty bad.
Hey, walk out of the stun. Yeah, basically you just dash too late. Like, most of this fight is fine, and then everything just happens so fast. Like, this is fine, you W, you dodge the soul stun, you walk over, you start hitting off the stun, put your combo out, hitting soul instead of swing, good, no one's threatening you, you're hitting, you get exhausted. As soon as you get exhausted, you dash the fuck out. Right here. As soon as this exhaust comes on you dash the fuck out, because at this point, like, your autos aren't going to be useful. Your Fizz is dead, your Sejuani's backing up as well. This is where you dash out and start calling. Because at this point, it's not safe and it's not productive to put out any more autos in this fight. Because you're exhausted and like you're not going to win this fight anymore at this point. No one's going to... Fizz is dead, so you don't have anyone with healing reduction to deal with the Swain. And Sejuani can't take anymore, so she leaves, so they're just naturally going to turn on you. But you leave too late, and you end up getting hit by all this shit, and you die instantly even with mercs. But yeah, like honestly, like the fight is completely fine until like you stay in with the exhaust on you. Like as soon as you get exhausted there, you dash the fuck out. As soon as you get exhausted in general, you usually just want to dash the fuck out, because when you're exhausted and you stay in the fight, if anyone tries to fight you, you turn on them and you do no damage, and like you're just taking free damage. Which is why like if you get exhausted, you almost always just want to dip out for a bit and reassess the fight. Because when you're exhausted, like you basically, like I said, you just don't do damage anymore. Like just dip out and make sure you don't take any damage back while you're not doing any damage, and then when the exhaust is off of you, then you reassess the fight and see if it's still viable to come back in. Because in this fight, if you had done that, you dashed out, reassessed the fight, you would have reassessed and learned this fight's fucking over, and then you just would have walked out with your life. You would have, like, you guys lose the turret regardless. Like, there's no way you could have held it. Like, you weren't gonna win that fight. So here's why I would have picked up Executioners before I picked up my Zeal for PD. Just because Swain is so big at this point that it's not a guarantee at all that you guys are going to be able to proc Murillos on him. And you already got your core and Bort Cleaver, so at this point it's fine to pick up Execs. So speed up till you spawn here. Not really much you can do at this point. They're killing your inhibitor. What the hell are you doing? Holy shit. Huh? Okay, this is a very interesting fight. Played pretty well, honestly. Okay, so this is a long ass fight too. Jeez. So let's walk through it. So you come out of base, guns blazing, we're on your mid inhibitor. Okay, so you're first off, I don't know, like this is probably the worst thing of the fight. What the fuck are you doing here? Like, did you tab out or something, or hello? Oh no.
Oh yeah, something like that. I had my mic muted, my bad.
Okay, because this is.
I don't think I was paying attention at that point.
Okay, good, because this is like probably the worst way you could start the fight. You just lose half your health for free here, and your team has to lock it. So you hit what's in front of you, This part is great. Work the Shaco, get rid of them faster, hit what's in front of you, kill Shaco. Lifesteal off the clone while you have nothing else to hit. Swain comes in, trade a bit with him, walk away, start lifestealing off some creeps. I don't like the dash, but it's good that you lifesteal off creeps because your team is fighting well without you. Re-enter the fight here. You re-enter the fight a little bit slow. You walk over to hit Draven when you could have just hit him from where you were. And you're a bit too apprehensive at points in this fight that I'll point out in a sec. Turning for Karma here is fine because it's you're trying to save Thresh, and then Swain ends up coming in at the end when he could have left when you turn, and you pick up him too. My biggest gripes with this fight, aside from the obvious walking into them at the very start for no reason, comes right around here when they put focus on you. Just it's fine to get some minions here, but the thing is, like, you re-enter the fight like too late. Like your team very well could have lost the fight while they were waiting for you to re-enter. Because you spent so much time lifestealing. And you also spend a lot of time just not going target to target at the end here. Because right here, you walk over to hit Draven, right? But the thing is, like, you can walk over, hit Karma, and then walk downwards and hit Draven. Like, you can hit Karma here, and then walk down and hit Draven. Like, it's just a free auto you can wave in. It's fine that you identify, like, oh, Draven's the priority target, I hit him here. But while you're kiting over, just know that you can get free autos in as you're walking over. Just like weave autos in as you're walking over to your target. Until your dash is up or until you get to the target. Okay, and the rest of this fight is fine. You're not afraid to hit, which is good. Like you generally, in these fights, once you start falling behind, you save your dash until you're actually under threat, which is good. Okay, culling's unnecessary here, but it's not that big a deal. It's not that big a deal that you use it because the fight's over at that point. So you go back here, assuming you pick up your PD, got enough gold for it. Yeah, like I said earlier, you need execs at this point before PD, because you got your core already. But yeah, that's like more specific, like for healing reduction champion kind of thing. So that's not that big a deal that you don't identify it. Okay, clear out the minions here. Pick up red buff. Okay, these are down double inhibs, so this game is still pretty fucked, but.
And we're also down like 10k gold.
So you sell, okay, so you sell your refill to pick up execs. So that's good. Good identification that you needed the item. So, looks like the last fight here. Fighting in a corridor against Soul. Yeah. I'm assuming that's...
Yeah, that's them.
Okay. So, this fight actually is just terrible. But from a team perspective, I don't think there's realistically anything you can do in this fight as Lucian. So we'll just examine it anyway. There's really not that much to examine. Your team engages on a Shaco. It's a terrible engage. You walk up, get some autos in. You don't dash away from the Swain Snare. You trust yourself to walk out of it. That's good. Soul just ults all of you. Fizz doesn't get a good assassination off. Shaco comes in here. You start calling him because you can't safely hit. You call, and then you can't re-enter because of all the dots that are hitting you. You got hit by a soul ult because you're in a corridor, because your team fought in a corridor, and then by the time your calling's over, you actually have any chance to re-enter. It's too late. Your whole front line's dead, and the fight's over. There's really nothing else to change about this fight. I guess you could say from a standpoint of it was your best, the fight you played best out of all of them, because there wasn't anything you could do. So I'm doing these, and Draven just flashes on you. So to wrap things up, your lane phase needs a lot of work. Your team fight honestly wasn't too bad. Like there was a few like dashing into Swain in mid lane was really bad, but
I had both my sums there. I just didn't look at my health bar.
yeah, we can like chalk that up to like I'm sure you know, and you won't make that mistake again. But the main issue is lane phase. You need to like for starters, you need to push for level 2. Like you need to push for level 2 and understand like the lane dynamic. If you have a non-poke, you have an all-in support versus a poke support, you need to push for the level 2 and go for the all-in. That's your best chance to win the lane against a poke support. You cannot let yourself get pushed in for free against a poke support, and if you are going to let yourself get pushed in because your jungler tells you, I'm coming bot level 3, let them shove you in, then you buy Doran's Shield, and you just try to last it under turret without eating poke. That's fine. But unless that's the case, like you're doing with the jungler, or your jungler just says, I'm coming bot level 3, let them shove in, then you fight for priority with your Doran's Blade, and you try to get your level 2 before them. You don't concede autos to them. You spam your spells on the wave at level 1 to try to get the level 2, and then you try to all in them at the level 2. And then later on, if you can't win short trades and you're not getting jungle help, then you try to look for an all-in, and you don't give them lane priority as soon as they have lifesteal, and you don't. Because as soon as you give them lane priority when they have lifesteal, then you basically lose unless you insta 100-0 them on an all-in and send them back to base. Because if you don't, if you give him lane priority for free and they have Map Scepter, that just means he's got infinite sustain. So when you recognize that he's got Map Scepter, you have to fight him for priority on the wave. Otherwise, you're just gonna lose slowly. If your turret is healthy, or if First Blood turret's already down, then that's not as bad because it doesn't matter as much when you lose your turret, and your team might be more inclined to help you. But if your team's not helping you and your turret's low and it's First Blood turret, you gotta challenge them for the wave, because you gave them control of the wave over and over until you lost turret, and that's like the worst thing that can happen. You know,
How do I challenge? Oh, sorry, go on.
Go ahead and ask.
How do I challenge against the Draven though?
You tell your support to basically if your support is playing too passive, you have to tell him, yo, you have to walk up and we have to walk up flame. Let's all in. When the wave hits the middle, right when the wave hits the middle, that's when you have to do it. And the other thing is you can actually stand in a pocket away from him if he's not in the perfect spot. So let's actually go back to. Well, okay, let's actually go to when you get village water. That's easier to illustrate. So you want to stand in a pocket of the lane, kind of away from him. So you can stand up here and keep autoing and keep autoing and keep autoing, right? Just stand right here and just auto from here. And then if Karma walks up to trade with you, that's fine because you can just Q double shot and then you have lifesteal in your pots at this point, right? So you can trade. Just stand in the pocket away from him so that if he wants to come up to try to harass you, if he wants to trade autos with you, then he's away from his wave if he walks over here to try to harass you, and then your Thresh can get a hook and they can all in them. You don't always want to play in the back pocket here. Sometimes you want to play in the pocket to the left, and if they're on the left, then you play in the pocket to the right and use the bushes.
Alright.
The lane positioning is actually extremely important. As for getting priority back in the lane. But, so so he shoves a wave in here, you catch it into the turret. Catch it into the turret, lifesteal up. And then for starters, you gotta walk up with the wave too. Like you gotta walk up further with the wave. So, because the thing is, like, he basically kills a melee for free, right? Because he starts hitting the wave before it even hits the middle, right? And the thing is, like, you might not win a trade, but like it's not gonna be a terrible trade if you like walk up and just like hit him when your wave's coming in, right? If you punish him for what he does right here, like, so I'll slow it down so you can just see exactly. So here it comes, right? So he's gonna walk up right here, right? He's walking up to hit this wave. Why are you back here, right? If he wants to hit this wave, you trade an auto for him, just like he did every single time to you in lane, right? Every single time you stepped up to last hit, every single time you stepped up to auto a minion, he was autoing you, right? So do the same thing to him. He's autoing these fucking creeps. Step up and auto him. But you're back here. So he knows, oh, this guy's a pussy. I'm just gonna auto the wave. Because you're sitting back here. What are you doing back here? You're doing nothing productive, right? You're accomplishing absolutely nothing. You don't want to even fight for priority. So this guy says, thank you very much. I'm going to push this wave in the turret over and over. And I'm just going to take priority over and over because you're being a pussy. Like, look at it. He gets so many autos in. So many autos in. So many. He kills 2 fucking melees. And you don't do a thing about it. You don't auto attack any of his wave. You don't auto attack him. You don't auto attack his support. You don't go ward. You don't do anything. You literally just say, oh, yeah, I don't mind getting pushed into the turret. I quite like sitting under my turret all laning phase. Don't do that. Like, fight him for the priority. Don't let him flex on you. Like, you literally just let him shove in the turret and do whatever he wants. Like, this dude has all the control in the lane. You're literally even on gold, but if you took off the scoreboard, I wouldn't be able to tell. I would think you're down 1k at this point. The passive you're playing. You got fucking Bilgewater Cutlass. You got Bilgewater Cutlass, a dagger, and a Doran's Blade. You're equal on gold. You're equal on level. You're equal on summoners. Why are you letting him do this to you? Doesn't matter if he's Draven. Draven doesn't become Draven until he finishes Death Dance. Like, that's when you can't step up to him anymore. But until he does that, you can't give him this much respect. You basically just concede priority to him the whole lane phase. I don't think you do this when you're playing against other champions. Like, just because it's Draven, you cannot give him this much respect. Like, gotcha. You're Lucian. Like, and especially when you have Bilgewater. Like, you can fight. Like, the problem is you don't try to fight at all, and then you just lose slowly. And the other thing I'll say is, if you're going to commit to calling a wave, then immediately back after it, and then try to get back to the lane with full HP, and then try to fight. Because the thing is, like I said here, when we first saw it, you call here, but what are you gonna do now, right? Like, you're just gonna come and shove the next wave in because you're too low. So if you're gonna call the wave, just go back immediately, then try to run back with like tier 2 boots or something, and try to hold your turret. Because you call this wave and that's all nice and fine. You clear this wave, but on the next wave you just die. Like, I mean, you either just die or you lose your turret. So if you are gonna call to try to get them off the turret, that's fine. Just go back then and then run back. Because the thing is, like, what are you gonna do at this health, right? At this point you're fucked already, right? Because you can't step up for priority when you're out of pots. The same thing I told you when you first got Vamp Scepter, right? If you can't hit the creeps, then your lifesteal is worthless, right? And that's why you always want to try to put the enemy laner in a position where if they don't have pots but they bought lifesteal thinking it'd be enough, you want to get them to a point where they can't step up to the wave and lifesteal, and that's exactly what he's doing to you right here, right? You can't step up to the wave and lifesteal anymore because you're at an HP differential deficit that's just too much. You know, if you step up and you get autoed one more time, you're going back to base because then he can just E or auto you and you're dead. So, you don't want to ever let yourself get to this point without backing. Because you can't use your lifesteal anymore and you're out of pots. So, clean up your lane phase. Build was fine. Team fighting for the most part, like I said, was fine. Some things that were off, but overall not too much. Rotations were there really weren't many to do this game because you guys kind of just got rolled. They were like. There are some like situations where you could have done something other than the other, but for the most part, a lot of that was just like giving the enemy team like too much respect, and those are easy fixes. Just identify when, like, especially if you got like a Thresh, right, and if you got teammates with you, don't be so afraid if you got teammates with you, and just in general, if you have like your Bork on Lucian and you have a resist boot, Tabi or Treads, you're honestly like pretty strong. Especially if you've got the Ruby Crystal and Black Cleaver HP to supplement you too. Like, don't be as afraid. You're a pretty good duelist. Just make sure you're using your call when you duel. And if you're ever with the Thresh, just tell him to play behind you if you want to go farm something, and just say, play back, get ready to lantern me. That's it's actually really, really hard to get caught if that's the case. But yeah, the main thing I see about you is like in this game, I don't know if it's a Draven only thing, but like your lane phase, you were just playing way too passive, you have way too much respect, and you lost first blood turret for it, and you had to rely on your team to get you to a point where you could carry in the game, and that just didn't happen. And you never want to be in that position. You want to be in a position where you're dominating lane and you just hard carry the game every single game if possible, and you didn't set yourself up to do this game. You have any questions before we finish up?
No, not really.
Okay.
Or oh wait, hold on. When should a support take over, like take a ignite over exhaust?
I think supports should basically always take ignite and solo queue.
Okay, alright, gotcha.
So you can tell your support to do that, especially if you're like the only time you might not take it is if you're like Janna or like a peel support like Karma maybe. The thing is like you can play aggressively as Karma too, and the ignite is very helpful.
Gotcha.
I guess that's just a small thing to say. If the enemy support does have ignite, make sure you're healing early in a 2v2.
Yeah.
And if they have exhaust, then you save it to bait. But yeah, if you're playing Lucian, I tell your support to take ignite every time unless it's Janna. And even sometimes if it's an easy lane like with Janna, I might tell him to take ignite too. Because the thing is like you have to win lane as Lucian. If you don't win lane as Lucian, it's real bad. You might as well just pick other ADs at that point. But yeah, like almost always tell your support to take ignite if possible. Because there's a lot of situations where you might have been able to turn something if you had ignite. Like the one that sticks out to me the most was like this trade. I believe it's right around here. A little deeper. This one that you guys. This one. If your Thresh has ignite here, as soon as this Karma shield falls off and the Karma mantra Q is down, if you just walked up for this trade and he hit, like he flash flayed into hook with ignite, that's a kill. Like straight up, that's just a kill. The thing is, like when they've got lifesteal like this and they've got heal, it's just so hard to get anything done with exhaust.
Gotcha.
Especially if you guys are getting the exhaust matched. So yeah. Anything else?
No, I'm good. I think. Well,
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Same thing I
Thanks,
tell
man.
everyone. If you got, well, I see you in the stream all the time.
Yeah.
You want to schedule anything, we'll get something sorted out.
Alright, cool.
Alright. See you,
Thanks,
dude.
man.
Is this live or VOD? This is live. Thanks for the follows.